Hello, everyone. Today is December the 10th. It's a good day for a good day, wouldn't you say? Yes, it will be. Let's take a look at what's going on. We've got a light release day in terms of planned economic releases. Who knows what'll come over the wire in the great, big, scary world we live in. But what we do know is that we are still in a buy the dip zone, but something critical has happened, and I want you to take a peek at it. First of all, we've got the December 20 expiry wall of resistance that is holding here at 6,100. And what we did in these last 4 days is try to breach and fail, try to breach and fail and make a lower low relative to that breakout, and then try to breach and fail and continue to make lower lows. So today, which is beginning here, we count low, lower low, lower low, and lower low. Okay? That brings us into the support structure at around 660.50. So that's going to be an area to watch. If it breaks it, the bounces up will continue to be sell zones. All right? And so here's what we notice from a daily perspective. Our VWAP has begun a decline. Our hull is still intact because it's a bit wider. Let's jump to the daily. What we can see is that we are sitting in a box still. We're between value area high, value area low, came into value area low last night, and literally spent all day long Asia and into Europe. And now we are bouncing, and that bounce should take us up to about 60.72. Okay, so what do we expect here at this 60.70, 60.72? Well, the first thing that we expect is for sellers to try to come in, the ones that feel like they did a good job here, try to come in and sell it down. The buyers are going to say, you know what, I want to try and recover and push back into 60.80. And so that's going to be the battleground. Because we have the basing of our VWAP and the hull being support to the price action, what we want to see is a dip into this 60.60 area that holds. If this breaks and you're long, don't add to the trade. It's just not a wise thing to do right there, because if we fall out of the value area, we easily could slip into these liquidity levels down at 60.47. Okay? Now, that's what we're looking at. Trendline formations looks like about 60.80, but I suspect a battleground here at this time, right? They're not going to just gussy on up there. They're going to gussy. Did I just say gussy? Yeah. So they're not going to move up there without some sort of challenge, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of battleground. And when they come up here, they're going to try and reject it, which is what we're seeing right now. We know these levels. We watch for them. They break below. We're going to be looking at 60.47. They break above. We're going to be looking at 60.80. Just follow trend. And I was reminded of something. Don't predict, just react. And that is something that's going to keep you out of trouble. Okay, so let's quickly go. I'll talk about what I mean by that as we go down, because you're like, what? I thought they do have to do that. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days caught in this range. Clearly, the buyers believe something's going on here at 41.22, 41.422, excuse me, and that's going to be support today, right? Resistance could be anywhere from 565, I like 535 actually, first, but we'll see it on 1 hour. And then if it breaks above there, we're going to look at 635, okay, to 660. Let's take a look at the hourly. What are we seeing? Still in a box on the upper half of the value area, right there at the volume point of control. Very big number. Look at the support of the hull. VWAP starting to move up. Take a look here. Great big flush. Trying to get up, trying to get up, trying to get up, trying to get up. Every time they try to get up, they move down. What are they going to try and do here? They're going to try and move back up. But recent past gives us an idea of how strong the traders are at this level. So if they saw in the past that this is going to happen, they are going to anticipate that a fade is coming. So for me, I'm going to say, okay, if the fade is going to be valid, I'm going to reject this area. Now, if we're staring it down, and I know I hate when I make these videos too long, it annoys me. So here's what we want to see. We collapse into a very tight time frame only on the spaces where we come into a level where big time frames have told us things are going to happen. And here's what we're seeing. Try to get higher, can't quite do it. Try to get higher, can't quite do it. Try to get higher, can't quite do it. The problem is it's still holding support. So none of this is telling us the chart's breaking down. On top of that, we've got solid momentum. What has to happen is a break through the edge that bounces but does not come back to the area. So we've got to put our fancy patience pants on and wait for that to go. Else, it's a buy zone right here with a very tight stop. Everything is actually telling us it's bullish, with the exception of divergence showing for the first time here. And the big picture tells us the buyers are going to slow their roll. Okay, so we anticipate, if we want to predict, we could say, oh, it's definitely moving out. I'm going to take 10 contracts short. No, but you can nibble in. There's a fine line between predicting and reacting. And that's something each of us has to work through. I have to tell you, I have to work through it all the time, right? Because I'm very good at reading charts, and I often find myself predicting rather than watching for confirmation of what it is I'm anticipating before entering a trade. Because if I do it after I enter a trade, I'm thinking about how can I make my trade right? Maybe I'll move my stop down. Oh, maybe I'll do X, Y, Z. See, that's what makes it bad. Take a look at what's going on with the Dow. Pretty important. Savage fade down, not so savage fade down, and then even this looks to me like a zigzag pattern. I don't know if any of us remember those from way back in the day where they were kind of a trend that folks talked about, but I'm going to use a Fibonacci, and we're going to do a little measuring. All right, so that's not the one I want to measure. This is the one I want to measure. I'm measuring the retracement of this wave right at about 50%. Okay, so what I expect is that this wave, and here's that prediction versus reaction space, I expect a 50% retracement here, which is at the 44,000 area. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing. Now, 44,000 isn't a bad zone to look at, but the first area that the traders are going to try and put themselves in line to do something nice is right about here, right? Old resistance becomes support. So we anticipate that they might try to buy here, but we are very much underneath this hull, and our VWAP is quite negative. If we go to the hourly chart, we're going to see that it's a pretty solid negative trend, and we're outside of this value area. If we eyeball this value area, how wide is this value area? Let's draw a box around it. And then let's take the box to the bottom of the value area. Okay, so the width of the value area has been completely retraced right here. What we are seeing is the hull is giving some measure of support, but look at where momentum is. It's a dumpster fire, right? So bounces are going to be sell zones because trend and momentum are way down here. So not a good place to pick a bottom. What you want to do is watch it bounce, pull back, and hold the low. Notice we could have said here, I'm taking a bottoming formation trade for the long. This is moving up. I'm supported by the hull. I'm going to go to the top of the range, and it's breaking it now. So what do you have to do? Get out of the trade. You get out of the trade here because it's telling you that that formation is not holding. I have a high and then a lower high. I have a low and then a lower low and then another lower low. So it tells you to break and you're out with, a little bit of a paper cut. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but don't size up like that. If you're going long, you should be half the size that you would normally go if you were going in the direction of trend. All right, there we have it. Let's look at Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin should continue to fade. Let's look at the daily on Bitcoin. All right. Still kind of sassy. That's a really big, terrible, sassy space. So let's look at the trend. It's still upside. Dips are still being bought. Look at the momentum. It's negative, but here's the thing. You don't want to go short just because momentum is going down. What it does tell you is you trade in the direction of trend, and if momentum is down, you take profit at your new highs. And then when it comes back and it holds trend, you buy it and you take profit at your areas of resistance or the new highs. But this negative momentum tells us, hold the phone, we're not breaking out big time on the upside. That's what it tells you. So don't use, if you want to use one indicator that tells you, okay, I'm going to make this one master and commander, make it a moving average. Do not use momentum. Momentum is going to lie to you because trend is stronger. Trend is always master and commander. Okay? So for Bitcoin, bounces up into resistance, maybe 102,000, maybe 100,000, 150 if you buy the dip. And watch this trend line break. If the trend breaks and we lose 94, I think we're headed to 91. Could it happen? Yes. We are going to start to see liquidity tighten. This is my gut, and we're going to see it happen here in micro Bitcoin. All right, oil, Earl, black gold, Texas tea. Whoa, still hanging on. Whoa, by a thread. Still hanging on. This thing is either going to have a savage break to the downside or a savage bounce to the upside. Thanks, Captain Obvious. What else you got for me today? Okay, we realize markets go two ways. They break down, they break out. Here's what we want to watch for. We want to watch for the break on our hourly charts that tell us price action is going to move in one direction or another. So a lot of people talking about an inverted head and shoulders pattern. This is another person I wouldn't want to meet on the street. So wow, that sounds terrible. And I say that way too often. I'm going to stop. So if this is a true inverted head and shoulders pattern, this break is going to give us the rise of the neckline, and that is 67, 68.50. So it's $1.50, right? If it breaks out from here, 68.60, $1.50, going to take us to 70. Big fat round number. That would be the break. Right now, folks, it still looks bad. Notice, trend down, momentum up. That means cross currents, but who wins? Trend. Trend always wins. Momentum never wins until trend has said, okay, we're on. We're doing it. Take a look here. Momentum up, trend down, and then trend turns around and goes, okay, it's coming. So you go, oh, well, I'm going to use that predict trend. No, it does not work like that. Once you see this change and technical divergence, what you want to look for is price action to begin confirming that momentum has a shot at delivering the move. And then trend will begin to show, and Bob's your uncle. All right, up here, 70 on the high end, low end back down at 67. This is literally the halfback, right? 68.50, 70 on the top side, 66 on the bottom, or 67 on the bottom. All right, gold. Oh, wrong one. Gold trending. Wow. 2,700 is the number I think gold ought to have trouble with. It appeared to have trouble with it yesterday. Wait, have we moved contracts? Yes, there we are. We're in the next contract. So here's what's going on. Let's look at the day first, right? Noisy, but we have ourselves a break. And take a look. Take a look. See this range right here? Here we have the first break of the range. Now the range is $40 wide. So the breakout, if we do a little range calculation, should be $40 up. But there's significant resistance, $30 up at the end of the value area. So if we say, all right, it's going to give us half of that, which is $20 up, This is the area that we anticipate price action to head into. However, what is the slope of momentum? It is flat. What is the slope of trend? Also flat if you look at the big picture, slightly upward here. So what is that telling you? You're going to have reversal candlestick formations. So don't buy a breakout, wait for a retest, and then you'll be in good shape. Let's take a peek. That's right, you can see it. Bounce up, fade, bounce up, fade, bounce up. Recent past gives us an estimation of near future. It's going to fade. That's what's going to happen. On top of that, we're seeing some kind of negative divergence. And that's what's going on right there. Okay, so upper edges, if you watch the breakout, we're looking at 27.20 to 27.30. Fade's going to give you the best bet. Lots of liquidity, old resistance, new support at 26.80. If I were a betting man, that's where I would start looking for price action to hold steady to give me a shot to the north. Okay, let's go to SPY. Good grief, how long have I been talking? I'm sorry. Just fast forward me. Okay, here we go. Another light economic news day. And this is our 5th day in this box. Traders trying to hang on to 603 and below that 600. Okay? Can it break higher above 608? I have no idea. Right now, nobody's offering to buy up there. So that's going to be it. Pullbacks are buy zones. Why? Because trend is up and momentum is in very positive space. So if dips are buys, ideal buys are going to come at the baselines of support at around 603 or 600. If we move that in, we're going to see value area. We're going to see value area high, low. We're sitting right in the middle of it, right? So we could go in either direction. It is quite a mess here for the SPY. First group of folks will be sellers because they're trying to make this old support and new resistance. A breakaway sends them into the 606 above. A failure to do this is going to bring them back into 604. Right now, because momentum is up and the moving averages have started to shift, the dip is going to give us the buy zone to very likely move into the resistance area. This fade yesterday, I don't know what was going on with it, but we are sitting at old resistance, new support areas. We should see some buying, should in quotations. Here we are with the Qs, doing a bit better, right? Let's take a look at the daily here with the Qs. And if you only trade one of these markets, just zoom along into the market that you want to look at. I just want to make sure that the day I want to do these videos every day and you leave and go, I'm going to use that. I think that's important to use. I'm going to incorporate that, or I'm going to refute that. And here's my strategy. Anything that you can use to take away and build something that's personally yours is going to make you much stronger as a trader. Okay, so here we go. Taking a look at this, bounce areas by the dip. Looks pretty good. We've got to get up over 524. And the traders are really trying to do that right now. Take a look. Fade, sharp candlestick, a buying wick and another buying wick, and then here, another buying wick, right? Are we above moving averages? Yes. Is the momentum telling us that we've got some price action potentially to the upside? Yes. And so the dips are buys in this formation because of what we know about the bigger picture. Here, they bought in the past, 521. If they lose this area, you've got to think about stepping back and saying, okay, nothing for me, thanks. I'm out of here. If you're looking for longs, or if you're saying to yourself, I think we're going to fade some more, then you want to look for the rejection of these areas around 524 to follow it back down. All right? And that's what we're staring down, folks. Good luck trading today. I know it's a little long. I want to give you some mechanics. Fast forward. Just go to the instrument that you want to see, and then later you can pick up all these mechanical flows. But remember, number one, trend is master and commander. Price action will tell you what the traders are doing relative to trend, and momentum tells you how good the power of the move is going to be. If trend matches momentum, you're going to get yourself a big boost. If trend does not match momentum, you're going to get sideways slop and these sorts of things that move sideways, charts going on top of each other. That's also the truth if trend is flat and momentum is flat. It's going to give you places where the candlesticks retrace each other. All right, good luck trading today, everyone. I'll see you on the streams.